And now we're in this market of micro-influencers where everyday people like me and you, if we get over 1,000 followers, we're technically micro-influencers.
Hello, welcome to the Evolve Podcast with me, Lewis, and Sam. How you doing, Sam?
I'm doing good.
Give me updates.
Oh, updates. So, went to Luke's birthday party. Well, have we recorded since then? I don't think we have. We must have. Oh.
No.
Okay. Went to Luke's birthday party. Really fun, really exciting. We definitely have recorded since then. I've just not spoke about it. And long story short, a few people there. Well, one main person was just like, "Hey, I see that you're doing the podcast." I was just like, "It's happening. I'm famous." So yeah, people are recognizing us. That made me really excited, really happy.
Are they listening? Are they listening though, Sam?
Yeah, he said he listens to every episode, to be fair. So yeah, shout out you, Jamie. Shout out you. Yeah, he does actually listen to every episode. So yeah, Lord knows what he's heard. If you've been name dropped, embrace it with love and care. Don't bring it up in person. Don't. And that goes for all our friends. If you've been name dropped, if you feel like your story has been leaked, firm it. We love you, but firm it. You've been a part of the content journey, and that's okay too. Okay. What else has been happening? Anxious Extrovert. So we've officially the website should be shut down now if it hasn't already. Ollie switched it off, and that made me feel so good.
Nice.
That actually made me feel all right. And I think now I'm going to close the bank account and dissolve the company. However, I'm going to redirect some of the services. I'm going to redirect it to, the marketing companies and stuff and the affiliates that we were set up with. I don't want, it takes ages, Lewis, to get set up with those lot. They do so many checks. So I'm just going to redirect them to us, and then we can just, one day, Lewis doesn't see a purpose for it right now because not enough of you, man, are subscribing or following us on Spotify or any of these things. But if you want to see growth in us, if you want free stuff, if you want discounts and all these cool stuff through us, can you please validate this? And Lewis will support my dream of adding cool things to the website. But yeah, that's what we can do, because I can't be asked to start those conversations again with them people. Just to get certain discounts and partnerships set up. We've already got it on Anxious Extrovert. I'm just going to move over to us. And what else? Need to get my ass in gear for content. I have been, this whole redundancy thing, this whole woe is me storyline I've been spinning up, it's over now. It's over now, and I need to get back in the rhythm of things, of being responsible for my own work. So I'm going to be looking to do more content and pushing out more stuff on TikTok and YouTube. And Lewis is going to commit to pushing more stuff on Instagram, like he said, because he's a good person and he wouldn't let us down like that. He wouldn't, because I'm the one who fails in commitment, guys. I'm the one who fails. I'm the one who's always late to stuff, and that's fine. And that's mine and Lewis's relationship. But Lewis wouldn't do that to us, would you, Lewis?
I wouldn't. No,
you wouldn't. So yeah, no. Lewis is going to get more Instagram content out, not just Fridays, not just Saturdays when he forgets on Fridays.
I'll do that. Sundays are dead. It's actually the midweek that I need to do.
It is, to be fair. Yeah, we need to get right. And that's fine. Did you see I did a story? I did a very random motivational story to see how.
I like that.
Yeah. Did you like that? I'm going to do more of that, guys. Let us know what you think. Let us know what kind of content suggestions you have as well.
I did like that.
I'm probably going to try and run some more polls and stuff and get people engaged. So start following.
Yeah, we need to. There needs to genuinely be like two more of me.
You need two more of you.
I need one of me to be doing Evolve stuff. I need one of me to be doing my day job, and then another one of me to do the editing stuff. Because it's just. Yeah, that's just a lot on. But yeah, that's good. It sounds like you seem more positive in regard to the...
I feel it.
Dissolving of stuff.
Yeah.
But in regards to your job situation, what are you doing? Can you say?
Do I want to say? No, I don't. Sorry to be awkward, but
wow,
I don't think I can right now. So it's still a bit up in the air. A lot of pivots are happening, and I'm saving all for redundancy tales, which I haven't recorded in a while. In a while, I haven't recorded redundancy tales, but because of like how soon our episodes come out as well, I just don't want to right now. Things are a bit crazy. and I'll tell you after recording, and then hopefully things will be more stabilized, and maybe next episode, I can give a bit more detail on that, because my enemies wanted to see me fail and I'm not. Life is actually quite sweet. But also I know a lot of people, both close to me, family and all that, are very invested in the storyline. So I'd like to give them the updates before we let the world know. So yeah, I'll let you know after the call. And obviously, guys, eventually we promise transparency, but this is my life. This isn't a game. Yeah, we're not just always here for kiki keys. I've got bills to pay, so I've got to do things in the right way. But yeah,
that's fair.
Yeah, keep going though, because you've got more updates, haven't you? What's been going on with you, work-wise? How's that going?
There's an opportunity that new job opportunity that I might have to do like I don't even care, because work already know, like,
I mean, how you've not been fired for this podcast, I don't know.
Nah, it's fine. I mean, like,
I'm about go home, I don't know.
At this point, I'm embracing it. So,
okay. There's,
just because of how much they screw me over, I actually don't mind saying this stuff, because they need me. So I'm just going to say what I want. Yeah, there's an opportunity that's presented itself that will take a lot of my time, and it has been taking a lot of my time. So, after reading this book, Relentless, I actually finished it today. I've been thinking, how can I make sure I get this job by sweating every single little tiny detail as much as I possibly can, in terms of like every aspect of what they're asking for. Like, I've literally been like studying after work to like prep for like these interviews, and I had one yesterday which went really, really well.
Nice.
ChatGPT the absolute shit out of like the aspects of this job as well. Studied absolutely everything for like hours on end. Smashed the first interview. The recruiter was like, yeah, they said you smashed it, great feedback. Let's keep going. Have another one tomorrow.
Good.
But there's going to be like 3 to 4 more chats in total, so including tomorrow's.
Right.
This is the opportunity I told you about last week, which is like doubling my salary basically. So this is the one that I actually have to be an absolute sweat at, because victory must be mine.
Is it internal?
No.
Oh
no.
Oh
no. This is why it's why I'm sweating.
Party.
Yeah, because like Sam, the setup in conjunction with the move outside of London, like it will set not just me up, but the Lewis Rosie household up very well. Like, life is cooking if this goes down. So I'm doing everything in my power to make sure I get it. So I'm holding off video editing for like the next week until this process is done, and I'm channeling all my efforts into making sure I know everything, so that it would be stupid for them to say no, because the ups are going to be upping when this goes down. And it could lead to another no, but I need to know that I literally
I'll be here for you if it does.
Every single thing that I have. And Rosie was like, Lewis, you're getting your hopes up again. I was like, you know what? I am. And you're going to be there to piece me back together. And this might happen 10 more times, but we're going to go through it.
Do your job, Rosie. Do your job. You're there for cuddles, and you're there for cuddles, okay? You're there for cuddles and making my boy feel better. It's time for you to earn your keep. Do your job.
Yeah, she's been doing that. That's the entire our relationship, to be honest. It's just like a broken, it's like that art, and like it's like the broken vase. There's something so beautiful about putting the broken vase back together. I'm just sawdust at this moment. It's been broke too many times. What if the vase is broke 15 times? It's like there's only so much you can do. It's just
the guys just picked up. We can't. They end up sad. Yeah, it's like, I'll just order a new one. Order a new glass. Order a new vase.
Yeah, same, but different. You know what I mean? So yeah, man. I'm
good. I've got good hopes here. This good energy to bring into this new opportunity.
You know what? Yeah, there's other reasons for that, which I'll go into in a few weeks' time. It's the thing I told you last week, but we'll go into that. But yeah, that's been good.
Hey, bro.
But yeah, there are a few things that I think we're going to discuss in the next coming weeks that I think have been quite good. A lot of mental health averse content that I think has been quite good. Because I've noticed my self-talk's been a lot better as well, and I'm kind of taking more. I'm hyper aware of that as well, and I think it's been helping with like everything that's been going on, and I've been a lot kinder on myself, which has been good. And it's already why my energy is a lot better. Like I've noticed I'm not like as tired and all that sort of stuff. So yeah. I'm curious to kind of like test it, like say this opportunity to share. I'm curious as to how I would handle it. So either way, I'd learn something. So it's kind of like,
I mean, go into it with that the search for value mindset, and like you go into it with the mindset of I'm there to only improve myself, and you'll be fine. So even if the interview flops, at least you'll know that you'll learn something. You get feedback from it. You'll develop off the back of it.
Yeah.
Like I had. I mean, the flops I've had, to be honest, I've bounced back quite nicely. I'm doing all right now. But ultimately, I think nothing's a loss if you view it from the perspective of I'm only seeking to be better. I'd say the interviews I've had, if anything, have empowered me a lot more for the roles I'm doing or for what I'm going to be doing in life. Because I'm a lot clearer on my purpose. At first, I was very much like, I need to be this person. I need to be perfect. I need to be like ready to accept any consequences. I need to be basically like a perfect human and all these things. And from all of my career, I've always noticed there's a set of people that do next to nothing and consistently get away with it. And I was always wondering, how come they have such a chill life and do nothing and they're fine? If anything, sometimes they get promotions. They get opportunities off the back of pure laziness. And I've just come to find it's because they set their boundaries and expectations. They do the work they need to do, but they've got clear boundaries and expectations from the get-go. And I think if you're able to do that, and you're still wanted off the back of that, calm. And that's part of like the updates. The updates I'm definitely going to be giving you after this, and I'll probably hopefully talk about in the next ep. But yeah,
I'm optimistic for the next 3 months. I think there's been a lot of positive changes. I think definitely since Rosie and I doubled down on moving out of London. I genuinely I can't tell you, like it's genuinely like halved, if not more. And I'm like, oh, maybe
it feels so much better, doesn't it?
Maybe you're not depressed. Maybe you're just broke. Maybe that's it.
I wanted to say it. I didn't want to say it.
I saw a stand-up comedian said this. He was like, "Hey, you guys depressed?" He's like, "Yeah." It's like, maybe have you considered that? Maybe you just have no money. And I was like, I felt so seen. I was like, oh,
it's so true though, because we do the whole like money doesn't make you happy.
Oh, it does.
Money buys me elephants that make me happy. I'm not going to sit here and for the sake of everyone else's well-being lie to you. Money has made me happy pretty consistently in my life. Okay,
it's true. It's true.
That those pound coins have been there for me when certain things in life happen. They see me through tough moments, through all my eating habits, through certain habits maybe I shouldn't have been paying for. All these things, money has seen me through it. So yeah, money does make you happy. But you do need a good network around you and people that actually care about you to survive.
Yeah. Sustainable happiness is exactly non-monetary. However, if you're gonna cry under a bridge or a Lambo, like, what are you gonna choose? You know what I mean?
Exactly. What was that? OF girl's name that said it. Ellie. Is it Ellie Brooke?
I don't know.
She said she was on Piers Morgan and she basically said, "My daughter's gonna be crying, but she's gonna be crying in a Ferrari." I was just like, gang.
That. I mean, it's like,
is it despicable? Yeah. But I see it. And I don't think I'd be crying. I just don't think I would be if I'm sat in the back of a Ferrari just going, oh, woe is me. And my mom was like, that kid has to take a bus. You want to take a bus? You want to cry in a Ferrari? I'll cry in a Ferrari, mum. I'm sorry. So yeah, I see it. But yeah, what's today's focus? What's our episode's focus today?
It's gonna be a blend. It's gonna be a blend. I want to talk about how startups can use influencer marketing. We're going to talk a little about celebrity endorsement, our things on that, and I think I have a vision in my head. It's quite messy, but it'll piece together. Yeah. But you know what? That's what we do. People know that. And
nice.
This comes back of this is kind of like a part 3 social media, but because the reason why this came up in my head is because we talked about, like, you said something on the lines of like celebrity endorsements that had gone wrong, and the thing that popped into my
last
head
episode as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, this the thing that and it just immediately popped into my head. I was like, do you remember like Kendall Jenner and like the Pepsi ad?
Yes. Oh my god.
And just how bad that was. Then I got to think about like AJ and like Under Armour and things like that. But I was also thinking, and I've actually seen this happen, because I've noticed I've downsized my wardrobe a lot recently because I now know, like, you know, I have to be an adult and I'm going to move in and share a flat house, whatever. And I've noticed that I've actually been influenced quite a lot with the clothes that I'm buying from. I'm buying through a lot of like Instagram ads of like these communities of like these independent brands that are actually producing really high quality stuff. And one of the people who I went to uni with, in fact, the person who I wear a lot of the Solace Clothing t-shirts from, he went to Trek, shout out Tom. And I'm noticing like how he kind of grew his brand as well. And I've come to realize that actually, if you're a startup, particularly this is coming from like a clothing perspective, it's like you don't need to think, oh, if only, you know, Kim Kardashian or Kylie Jenner was wearing my shit. It's actually very easy for you to kind of collaborate with other people who are trying to become models and things like that, or we want to become like Instagram models, and you could just give them your shit when they already have like a base of 2k, and when like you like reach out to a few brands and you give a few samples of your clothes, whatever, and you get 10k out of that, say 5 influencers who have 2k followers each, right? And they're all sharing your shit. Maybe one of them doesn't wear your shit or post about it, but you get 8,000 people access to. It's actually very easy to get some sort of celebrity endorsement because those audiences are only going to grow, hopefully. And when you reach people on the same level as you, it's actually easy to kind of like build communities that way. And you get a lot more like trust in your product, that people want to find out who you are because it sounds like niche, if like it sounds like niche and quality. And I just found it quite interesting because we're now at an age where when you have like a really large audience and you're doing like an ad for this or this, it has the same effect as like a brand kind of telling you now. So I think there's a lot more power in these like micro influencers, and I think you touched upon that the other week. When we're talking about social media.
That was the segue really for me in what you were saying. It's that differentiation between your standard influencers, your big Kim Kardashians, Ronaldos, all these types of celebrities, and then you've got your more modern day influencers. So you've got the YouTubers, the KSIs, the Sidemen, and all these more. And then even before the Kim Kardashians, there were, let's put it this way, reputable celebrities or dignified celebrities. I don't know, that's insulted. Reputable celebrities are the ones that they'd actually achieved some kind of hardship in the grand scheme of things. You know, the ones that you respect, Lewis, the non-hawk toil kind of people, like the ones that played, the ones that do a sport, the ones that have discovered some kind of science, the ones that are like Nobel Peace Prize type people. They were like the OG influencers because they were famous through their hard work. And I think society was going through a mindset of, you need to achieve this and this to be famous. So the people that are at the top of that game were seen as respectable. We're seen as, oh my God, I aspire to be you one day because they're at the top of that game. And then eventually I think people then aspire to just be famous. And then you have the people who are just popular for the sake of popular. They're now seen as more inspirational. So you see they have now more of a following. And then we've come back into the cycle of, okay, I don't want to do all this work to then pivot into fame. So I don't want to be a footballer and all of a sudden become famous because someone released a sex tape and now I'm famous for that. Or my dad, I don't want to like wait for my dad to make it big in some kind of trial. So then I get a bit of media attention, hang around Paris Hilton, Kim Kardashian, and then end up releasing a sex tape. Now I'm famous. I don't want to do that. People are finding quicker routes to fame. And now we have your traditional YouTube influencers of like, do the graph, just be on camera having fun, being your everyday person, being someone who's relatable, and that gets you fame. And we're slowly finding easier ways. But the ultimate thing is that fame is only prescribed to a certain percentage of people. You can't have 50% of the population be famous, or everyone's equally as important, right? There's only a certain percentage of people that can be seen as top of their game and influencers. If not, you're just like everyone else. You're not really special. I can achieve that. But I do see that the boundaries are closing in more and more. People to be close to their followers, they're more likely to have a trust relationship with them. Like if you were endorsing a brand, I'd be more likely to buy it than if Kim Kardashian endorsed it. Or if you endorsing it, and as much as I might say I like Anthony Joshua, I'll trust your feedback off that brand over Anthony Joshua's because I'm closer to you. And micro-influencers have more of that effect on people. So brands see the value in that. And the weird pivots now, we're seeing the basis that brands are looking at those people because they are trusted by their following and they've got better conversion rate. However, if those people now go into normal influencer territory, they lose that conversion power. And that's a behavior that needs to be recognized as well. So it's almost like we've reached that point now again where everyone wanted to be famous because they wanted to be the best of the best. They wanted to be at the top. So then it went from working hard to be famous to just being famous for the sake of it. Now we're in a situation where people don't even know that they're famous or they're important to brands. Brands are recognized so it's flipped. It's not that I'm famous and the brands come to me. It's that I'm a nobody, but I've got loads of followers and the brand's gone, you're perfect. But what's now going to happen is almost like it's going to breed this behavior of I just need to be a good person and have people trust me and I can monetize it. And people are just going to focus on the monetization, and that's what will kill that behavior out. And I'm quite keen. I know I'm going on a complete tangent, but I'm quite excited to know what's next after micro influencers, because that will die out. That will lose its conversion capability at some point, and it will go into something else. So it will get to a point where I'd be like, if you were promoting something to me, I'd be like, is Lewis just trying to make money out of me? And I think eventually, like Rakuten are doing this now, where anyone could basically send a link to their friend and make money out of that recommendation.
You know what it might end up being?
It's going to change how we endorse products to each other.
Yeah. I mean, it could be beneficial for us because I'm just thinking off the top of my head, but it's like, because if you're thinking that, I also think it's quite interesting because there's this brand called Wellbrick that are kind of like a small like clothing brand. I have like 2 hoodies and like a jacket from there. And I don't know anyone who found them, but I got Instagram stories. I was like, oh, they look pretty good. But it turns out like actually like Ethan from Sidemen like wore some of this stuff, like their podcast and stuff like that. And they're actually really, really good. And they're not like that expensive, and it's just as good as like dumb hoodies I've spent like 150 quid on and stuff like that. And I was like, maybe I need to start like doing more smaller brand stuff, because you can actually get really highly quality good shit for not that expensive. And so that's kind of been like a shift in my wardrobe anyway. But again, it's like, actually it's now like something that I'm wearing that not like you see on the street all the time, because I don't like seeing my wardrobe out in the street all the time. So it's like I wouldn't buy Air Force Ones now, like, although I think they look cool, but everyone and their mama has one.
Do you know what I mean? See yourself as a trendsetter, or do you aspire to be unique in terms of becoming a trendsetter? So why does it matter to you wearing stuff that? Why does it matter? You know what? I was wearing the same brand as you.
Not like the exact same brand, but like, say if I like, do you remember like these super dry jackets like everybody had at school? Yeah, or like everyone wearing.
I know exactly what you talk about.
But like everyone wearing like
Fred Perry, or everyone got Fred Perry,
and it's just like everyone just became so homogenous. So I just didn't want to be that way, and maybe it's just because like I don't know. Maybe a part of it is that like I never like was told to like, oh, just try and fit in school, that I don't want to like succumb to that behavior. So maybe part of it is that, but I wouldn't want to see like me wearing the exact same outfit as someone like in the middle of the street. So maybe that's why I was like, I want to leave.
I think
to, like,
to a degree,
brands
you need to accept that you care about your appearance enough to not want to look like everyone else. Yeah, I think why I'm poking at that is there are some influencers whose brand is not caring, whose brand is, oh, I'm just being me, or I'm just embracing what it is, and I'm unique in my own way, and it's fine. And I think not to say that, you know, wearing a unique brand is disingenuous, because you try to be unique is in the way you kind of marketing a character about yourself to the world. So you can't pretend you don't care when you're actively trying to look like you don't care.
Yeah, you know what? It's actually quite funny. So I'm gonna say something to make you laugh now.
We talked about.
Yeah,
go on.
I remember because like I got like this jacket and I really liked it, and you know, I hadn't seen it before, and then like genuinely over the past of like 6 months, like weekly, I was seeing like someone wear it, and I was like, I just genuinely just never touched it ever again.
That's
I know.
That's diabolical.
I know, and I was just like, I won't play with you anymore.
Whereas me, I'm gassed. If I see someone, I'm still that kind of like schoolboy era of like, if I see someone wearing the same, you know, like non-uniform day when the boys wear the same clothes, you're like high five, like, oh, we're twins. The girls do it, and it's just like, enemies. You're dead. You're dead to me. I'm still in like that childish mindset. If I see another guy wearing literally the same top as me, I'll literally go like, nice top. You know, we'll have our kiki moment. I'll just keep it stepping. Yeah.
It's really weird.
You're different.
Like,
you're just there like, no, I don't want to share the spotlight.
If it's like my mates and stuff like that, because like the sort of stuff like my flatmates like had, like I don't care about that because we're supporting like my mate. But so different then. I don't know. Maybe I'm weird. I might have to talk to a therapist about it. Who knows?
I don't think you need. I think it's quite a common trait that it's impressive that you can admit to it.
Yeah. Yeah, because you know it's me. You know, I'm not perfect.
A lot of people do it. No, a lot of people do it. And when I was looking into like the Gen Z marketing of, well, you are Gen Z, aren't you? You're just like
Millennial
Gen Z. You're an old Gen Z.
It's what
Millennial are you on?
96.
You're like on the cusp. You've got Gen Z behavior. You're that millennial that is so Gen Z. You might as well just accept your faith and be Gen Z.
I'm not.
You are.
Yeah, it's 81 to 96. It's a millennial.
It's what?
81 to 96 a millennial.
Someone was born in 97 trying to claim themselves as millennial. We need to accept the later half of 96, you're Gen Z. Embrace it and keep stepping.
Gen Z's 97 to 20. Well, Sam, if we're going to blur all these lines, like, you know, where does the madness end? You know? It's like the time went back. Is it really 9 o'clock or 7? Do you know what I mean?
When did it become cool to be millennial, man? What's everyone trying to be millennial? Let's have our
because Gen Zs are significantly worse. Sorry, Rosie. Rosie's Gen Z, but Rosie. The thing is, because Rosie tries to claim being millennial, and I can't allow this.
I feel like millennials are seen as like this actually touches on the influence, and I think looking closer to micro influence and looking closer to difference in behaviors, millennials are the hybrid between what's the one above this millennials and there's what Gen Y or whatever it is. I'm the one who did the generations research and I'm already lost. Anyway, millennials are almost on that cusp because we were the last to know a world without internet. I definitely knew a world without the internet. We were the last to know a world where you weren't stuck on the screen all the time. You could actually meet in person, or we were one of the last. We were that phase of it. And we were basically like the last we were the last of the previous generation's joy and all the benefits the new generation got, to the point where we can actually blend across both. So millennials, I think on the face of it, although we used to get cussed out by older generations, we see ourselves and we see the older we see ourselves as the more capable out of the new and the old generation because we're at that perfect hybrid.
Yeah,
but every generation at some point has seen themselves at that when a new one comes in. So for Gen Z, Generation Alpha have come in now, and they're not old enough to be held accountable for anything. Like, they were born after 2011. They cannot be left home alone legally right now, right? So Gen Z will still be called out like millennials used to be for everything they do until they reach the halfway point where they start mentioning shows and music, and the alphas are like, what's that? Where did that come from? Like, they'll feel like the moment I felt when I talked to someone about Pokemons and they thought I was talking about Pokemon Go, and I said, no, Pokemon's an animated show. And then they all looked at me like I was from the Stone Age. And it hurt my feelings.
Yeah.
I'm venting and I need to stop. Anyway,
Yeah, that's funny.
That was from a dark place.
My mate, my mate Deej, his younger brother Ben is 20.
Yeah,
and like he'll go out for like drinks with them. And he told me the story the other day, and it attacked. I felt bad for him because it's like he's like, oh, like how old are you? He's like, oh, I'm 28, and they just go, oh, bro, I'm so sorry. Like, don't tell us about the war. They're like, oh,
it's the wars. I've still not been called uncle yet, but the moment I get called uncle, I'm twatting someone. The moment I get called uncle, I promise you, that I'm twatting that kid. It's just, Lord have mercy on that shit.
Yeah.
So anyway, what I'm basically saying is, at some point, the next generation becomes held more accountable, and at this weird cusp that we're in, millennials, Gen Z, we're in that stage where, remember a few, I think it might be the last episode, the episode before that, I talked about how we live in a world where it's hard to be unique because you slowly find out you're just like everyone else. And you're in a world where
never had
social
thought in my life.
Yeah, you've not had an original thought. Yeah. You're in a world where your social media makes it very clear that, or social media forces us all to share the same mindsets because we're all communicating with each other now. We're in a world where it's very hard to find your place in the tribe because we're all part of a bigger tribe than we were aware of. And I think because of that, a lot of people are keen to be brand evangelists. And when I was doing the research, I've come to find that a lot of people now, the younger generation, when they engage into a product or service, one of the main factors they look at isn't just, one of the main factors they look at is the product or service good at what it does, and will it give you what I want? That's the core thing, right? That one of the latent ones is, would I look like a twat by signing up to this service and telling my friends about it? And the consideration is it unique? Does it align with me? Does it align with my brand? Does it align with who I am? Because if I'm telling all my friends I care about the environment, every day we talk about the environment and all these things, and I sign up for this like brand where it turns out they burn trees for fun on staff nights out, they just burn trees and kill rabbits because banter, then I'm a twat for signing up to that. So now I've got to act aggressively against that because my character trait, my unique aspect is standing up for the environment and all these things. So we're looking at a generation that actively cares about how they come across based on what they engage with. And that's why cancel culture is rife right now. Because if I don't say I'm against this thing, then silence is compliance. And if I'm compliant with it, then I'm just a sellout. I've got to be unique. I've got to stand out for what I believe in. But once again, we're all just standing up for the same thing. So there's a subset of people that just want to fit into that tribe because it's like, they're standing out, but they're the niche ones. So I do see a behavior of like the younger generations always have a quirk where they stand up for the weird things, and it's weird from the perspective of the older generation. So our parents look onto Gen Z like, you man process about everything. Like everything. Yeah. Go to school. Like you man will cry about everything. But from their perspective, they're just there like, well, this is important to us. But it will get to a point where Generation Alpha will start protesting about stuff. And we're going to look at them and be like, these kids won't shut. Go to bed, man. Like, what are you doing? And it always happens again and again. And from marketing companies' perspective, they're just there like, which view is the most popular view? We'll just align with that. So Greta Thunberg right now, smashing it. But when Generation once after Generation Alpha come in, she just become a really popular hippie that we used to know. And it'll move on to some other topic, just like it has before. Just like when people were saving the trees and putting spikes in trees. Half of them now work in banks. Half of them now work for corporate America. They all put a suit on eventually. I think after a while, they all die out. And it's the next big problem.
Yeah. I'm hoping it moves to like podcasts and like, it's like micro podcasts after that. That would be great. I'm just spitting that idea out.
How would that work though?
I don't know, Sam, but I'm just...
that did work. That did come out for a bit. Clubhouse during pandemic. Clubhouse. Remember Clubhouse? The app where it was on iOS only for a bit. And I think Twitter's now got the Meets thing where the Twitter Spaces or whatever it's called, or X has it, where you can join in group chats and talk to people.
Oh, yeah.
Clubhouse was like that platform where you sign up to it. And then you just join in and everyone's like talking really deep stuff. And I'm just like, we can hear you. Like, we can see you, right? Like, stop saying these things. But Clubhouse was actually had some bad conversation. I don't know where it's at now. But I'd say that was the closest to micro podcasts. I don't think such a market is sustainable. I don't think any micro thing other than micro influencers, and even that, is sustainable. I think eventually they all run their course because like we said before, the ability to influence is the ability to maintain. It's really aligned with the ability to be authentic. And once it becomes a job in itself, to be a micro influencer, it loses its authenticity because people just see it as, oh, you're just trying to make money. I can't trust that you're being honest. You're just trying to make money. How many friends do we have that have tried to sell God knows how much stuff to us that now when they say stuff, we're just looking at them like, I'm not going to buy it. Leave me alone.
Yeah.
How many friends did we have that sold tickets for events where we just look at them like, I'm not coming out tonight. I'm just not doing it. You're trying to sell me tickets. Like, I was the ticket guy and I know what it feels like.
Yeah. It's like, oh yeah, bro, it's sick. And you go in, it's like, yeah, the things in there.
Exactly. And I turned up, it was just like, I'm the only one here. And all the bartenders looked at me.
It's 8 dudes with red stripe. Like, what are we doing?
The only person I don't know is from your course. The only person I don't know is from your course that we don't go to. So yeah. I'm just saying it will run its course. I'm quite interested to see what it means. But if you are a startup and you are looking right now, if you're listening to this in real time, let's say you're listening to this somewhere in 2024, early 2025, get involved with micro influencers right now. Start engaging with them because you will get bigger bang for your money. However, come 2026, it will work for you, but I'm willing to bet there's probably something that's more new age that might work better. I think we'll get to a point where personalization algorithms will just become so good that technically you wouldn't need influencers. I do think that we'll get to that point. I think influencer marketing will it'll be used still because people still use billboards, right? It'll be used still, but it won't be anywhere near as powerful as just having a system that really understands what the person already wants. And that's what we're getting to now. A lot of companies are investing in personalization. So it's going to be the old age systems like the Google AdWords. That's going to be smashing it near the end of next year, I think. It's going to be Meta, I think, are going to get a lot better at their marketing at some point. All these online spaces where you book ad revenue are going to get better, but the ones where you book ad revenue on other platforms are going to be the best ones. So like Google would be one of the best ones.
It's mad that you mentioned Google because I Googled just now the millennial years and stuff like that. I don't know if you've been on Google recently. You don't even need to click on anything anymore if you want to find out what you want. It came up with just AI, like the bullet points of everything.
Just there, bro.
Google's just turned into ChatGPT. I was like, I didn't click on anything. So AdWords are going to be fucked.
They've done what, and it's weird because it's what it is. The math is mathing now when I deep it, and I'm completely talking from pure hypotheticals here. I think I'm going to actually, now I've done this weekend, I'm probably going to try and do some research into it to see if I can add it into my thesis. But like I said before, at first we were so far away from being an influencer, you had to work harder to be one. And now it's the proximity is getting lower and lower. Like you've got the micro influencers where you just need to know a few thousand people on your Instagram. Eventually you will become your own influencer by giving enough data to a system that it'll convince you to tell yourself that you want it. You don't need someone else to convince. I don't need you to tell me I like it. I just need to open Google and it will tell me like, oh, based on your behavior, this is perfect for you. And like, it will seem so obvious to me that I'll just be like, of course it is. I'll buy it. And I think the only other pivot to that is we go pure Black Mirror and computers are just telling us stuff and we don't even know ourselves well enough that we'll just be like, yeah, it's great. And the next time we go outside, we're all wearing grey. We'll be like, oh yeah, I love grey. I've always loved grey. I think that's the way. I think that's what we need to be scared of. And I think that's really possible, Lewis, because we're all very easily influenced. I don't think we ever got rid of that reptilian part of our brain. I think we're all very easily coaxed with logic into doing what we don't want to do.
Yeah.
And the example I always say is lockdown. Lockdown as I'm not trying to do the whole anti-vaccine thing. I got my boosters. I got the second one so I can go to Disneyland. I'm not ashamed of it. I didn't want no Wahala at the at the checkpoints. I didn't want no one saying, have you been vaccinated? I'm here to see Mickey Mouse. Let me through. Here's my booster shot. Let me go. Right? Fair enough. But the best example of that was there was a time where the thought of a government saying everyone stay indoors, impossible to consider. Like my parents being told to stay indoors. Are you crazy? They will go and burn the police station with us. But all of a sudden, like African parents being told by a government that they constantly rebel against to stay indoors, do this, they're going to be like, what? Like, you at your age, schoolboy, you're going to tell me what to do? Crazy. But all of a sudden, lockdown happens. We're all so suggestible. We just embraced it. We were clapping pots and pans outside because someone told us to do it. Do you understand how crazy we look off the back of it? Like, we were clapping when we knew that people were being underpaid to do a job that we were too scared to go outside and even do. We were too scared to go outside and say hi or speak to someone in the street. And there were nurses going into hospital and facing this danger that we were scared of. And our consideration wasn't, let's all protest and make the government pay more. Our consideration was go outside and clap for them. And why we did it is because Johnson literally said it on the news, go and do it. So I think we are way more suggestible than we would like to admit, because as soon as someone calls it out, it gets called a conspiracy, and then everyone else's intelligence gets brought into play.
It's actually, you actually just reminded me of something, because I actually did this in my dissertation on, I think I brought this up briefly. It's like social media influences impact on gamers. And because this was off the back of my internship when I was at Xbox. Now, social media, like, you can basically form what's called a parasocial relationship, as we discussed before. It's basically when you have a one-way relationship. And this is always with the idea of like celebrity endorsement, but it can now also be with like influencers, YouTubers, and even like people who you follow, you went to uni with, but you just followed them, and now you're not even mates with them. What's interesting about this is that I know mates of mine who want a PS5, but will keep an Xbox because their FIFA mates are still on there and stuff like that. And they're like, oh, I want a PS5. I want to play these games, but I can't because I've been stuck with this all my life, and I can't make the change because what will my friends think? And even though they know it's better for them, they will stay and they will never make the move because they're like, what do I do?
I don't like this line of conversation.
Samuel, do you think this is? Is this you? Is this you, Sam?
You know what? At least I
what
have
about my Xbox
perspective
friends?
as to what
all my Xbox.
I don't have Xbox friends. Lewis, all my Xbox friends left and went to PlayStation. I have no Xbox friends. I'm gonna say it like that. I don't have any Xbox friends. Lewis, I have over 1,000 people as friends on Xbox, and I talk to none of them. I have not played a game with any of them in over 2 years. Right? I have my Xbox because, one, I'm pretty sure I'm on the spectrum as to my logic around things anyway. I'm pretty sure, like, every time I try to explain something to myself or to others, I slowly see what they mean when they say I need to get checked. But I have Xbox because it ticks off all the boxes I need for a gaming experience. I have an Xbox because they've given me really good brand loyalty. I told you about how it's the only games console I've had for over 13 years. Since Xbox 360, that's all I've ever had. And they've been great. Customer service has been amazing with it. I've always been able to fix it when it breaks. Now, probably not, but I've not broken any of my new Xboxes, so that's fine. On the Xbox Series X, the hardware is a lot better. I'm very functional. I don't care about the way it looks. Because I don't really have many friends to game with, I'm not as bothered. I do like multiplayer games, and PlayStation is basically single player central at this moment. Most of their exclusives are all single player, apart from the new ones that they've released. What's that one where you basically fly to Mars and shoot beetles and robots? That one is quite popular now. The multiplayer one that's come out, where you basically like right-wing army people. Someone put in the comments if you know what I'm talking about. I forgot the name of it. Anyway, that's either way. Like, I've always looked at PlayStation and I've just been like, nah. And maybe you know how you're with this Wellbrick brand. Xbox makes me feel like that. I've got my own thing I'm unique to. I'm stubborn too. This is what makes me unique. I'm the Xbox guy. Just like I'm an Android guy and I refuse to ever be an Apple person, right? That's my personal unique trait. When it comes to tech, those are my unique traits that I will stick to because they make me feel special. And I'm not embarrassed to say it because at least I can acknowledge it. But all you PlayStation, man, you sheeple, enjoy yourselves. You'll be back here soon when Xbox buys all the exclusives. You'll be back. Welcome. You'll be back on the winning side. And this does touch Lewis
get
on
both,
I mean,
you can always get both.
But I refuse to. In fact, it's probably a bad idea that I still have my Xbox. But ultimately, it is that, isn't it? It's the ability to feel like I am some kind of higher ranking member in a tribe that doesn't matter. Because there's some kind of dominance and power and control that comes from that. And I do think we're in a world where people want that. People want more control. People want to seem more influential and more like a tribe leader, because I think we all aspire to, being the mammals we are, being the apes that we are, we all aspire to overthrow the king at some point. And in this world, there's just too many steps to get there. So we find a new thing to be the king of, and makes us feel special. And I think that's why we also get a lot of trolls and people who want to like make other people feel dumb on comment sections. That's why I like being the Xbox and Android guy, because it makes me feel smart about my ability to code and do tech. And that's why I don't want to do Apple, because I think Apple's for simpler people, right? That's why I feel like that. It could be that someone's got a fashion brand and they want to be known in their group as like, I'm the most fashionable, or I know all these niche brands, or someone wants to be more charitable. We all want to be kings of a specific domain. We all want to make ourselves, well, most of us do, want to make ourselves leaders of something, even though we don't want to do the hard work of being a leader and looking after people. We want to be seen as respectable and some kind of higher ranking member to some degree in this tribe. And I think because of that, everyone seeks to be unique. Everyone seeks to have something that they can endorse about themselves. And even if it's something that is really popular, in general, so caring about the environment is really popular. But a lot of these younger people come from families that don't give a damn about the environments. In their households, they are the experts on caring about the environment. So even in their tiny tribe, they're the leaders of that space. And I think that's why naturally we're just part of this. Just like when the young silverback wants to beef the older one, we're just like this, but we do it with clothes, Xbox and iPhones. I think that's literally it.
Yeah.
That's as deep as we go and get about that. But turning it on its head, let's play a bit of scenario here. So I'd say we are slowly, we now have our core following, right? We, as Evolve Podcast, let's be honest, we have our core following of people who would say like regular basis, we've got 10, 15 people that at some point will come back and watch all the episodes at least, right? And it's going to grow. Do you see us ever diving into micro influencing? And if so, how?
I think it comes with like the listenership and things like that, to be honest. So I think once that continues to grow, once the videos get a bit more traction, because once it becomes quote unquote cool to listen to the podcast, and people start sharing it and say like, yeah, I've been listening since this part. You haven't. I have the numbers. I know you won. But
we
cool.
See you.
Yeah. But if you're sharing it, fine. You can say whatever the fuck you want. But I think when it gets to that point, they're going to come to us, and that's what I think we pick and choose to endorse brands that we want to work with, that align with what we're doing. Because I don't want to just randomly be like, I don't want to like, just clean the first bag that we get sent our way.
Yeah.
Like with the fucking the car insurance fucking shit that we got the other week.
Who else keeps messaging us? Someone keeps messaging us that I feel like we should reach
someone
out to.
keeps sort of being like, I can help you grow, and they're all like the BS marketing people. I'm just like, leave me alone.
Yeah, I'm not doing it. No, thank you.
And also, you're asking for if you at the moment we can afford free, and free's expensive enough as it is right now. So leave us alone.
That's so true. Let us be, man. Let us be.
If you know the volunteer,
I hear that.
Fine. But you guys have got hidden thieves behind your DMs, so you can all fuck off.
Say like, let's do this campaign for you and show them. It's like, leave me alone, please.
Listen,
with you, Satan.
Once my background is at my bedroom, we can then talk, because I might have some peace to throw you away. But until then, allow me. Genuinely. That's how I'm feeling right now.
I hear that, bro. I hear that. But yeah, ultimately, I see where you're coming from. I do feel like you pivoted into us being the influencers, though, in that response, in terms of let them come to us. But I'm talking in terms of us promoting the pod more. I guess in many ways, you're not a fan of doing the whole paid promotion thing, are you? You're not a fan of, and I'm not either, to be honest with you. I'm not a fan of paying to promote the pod. I think organic growth, although it's slow, it's steady, and it's the best way to maintain authenticity.
In terms of what you mean, I don't want someone to be scrolling.
I don't want to do
ad for a pod. No,
I don't want to do adverts. Yeah, I don't want to do adverts.
If there's say for instance, someone else that has a podcast that's the same size as ours, or maybe even larger, hopefully, then they're like, oh, we can do a joint show and all that sort of stuff.
What's it called? Like
all up in that.
Cross-pollination.
Yeah. Crossbreed and shit. Yeah. Do that shit. Yeah, I'm down for that.
Made it so degenerate so quickly. Pause, man.
That
was an actual thing. Cross-pollinating is an actual thing, and it's something that when you do, I guess, what we do, which is the brand is us in many ways, right? Evolve is basically the story of Luke and oh my god, Lewis, cut that out.
Wow.
It's because Lucas messaged me on WhatsApp.
It's okay, Sam.
Evolve.
I know I'm not on your mind. Wow. I call you.
Sorry. Oh, wow. I was literally going to say.
Wow.
Let me learn. I'm sorry. Cut out. Hey, it's up to you to edit your pain in or out. This one's up to you. I'm going to pause for 5 seconds. Okay.
This is your pain, not mine. I'm exposing you.
Right. Anyway, Evolve is a story of Lewis and Sam, right? We are the brand. So in many ways, us going out and doing things is that promotion. If anyone was to promote us, it would still be down to us to do a lot of the heavy lifting of proving our worth, because we can speak for ourselves. We can articulate and talk about our brand because we are the brand. So us going to a micro influencer and saying, hey, we'll pay you X amount to tell people how awesome the podcast is. Straight away is disingenuous if people know it's a paid promotion. Straight away, it's because we are the brand. Our ability to speak, our ability to attract people's attentions, it's what we sell. It's whether we like it or not, that is it. And our focus is, okay, we're going to just speak our truth, speak our journey, and people will come. But that still revolves around our journey and our truth being interesting enough for people to come and listen, right? So because of that, I wouldn't want to dabble in any kind of paid micro influencing campaign. I think in the podcasting market, or in the market sectors where you are your brand, it's your behavior and it's the population of your behavior and actions that gets your attention. So you remember we talked about marketing versus advertising. If you are the brand, you should never be advertising. You should only be marketing. You should be putting yourself in positions where people can recognize you for the behaviors that represent your brand. So for us, it's going on other podcasts. For us, it's going to the right networking sessions, being in the right room at the right time to meet the people we need to meet, who are more influential. And in many ways, they will tell their story about us and our behavior, but that's not an advert. That's just them marketing us, because they're not intentionally saying, they might say, go listen to the pod, but we've not paid for that. We've not asked them to do it. Some people do that in the background, and I think it always comes to light when they do that. But someone saying that, we might say, hey, we're doing a pod. We're trying to grow, and that person might take it on and say, okay, yeah, I'll give you a shout out. Fair enough, that's safe, but we still have to do the heavy lifting of when people come to us and watch us. We still have to impress them enough for them to stay. One brand I've noticed that does it, one brand or one podcast that does it really well, will be Shits and Gigs, when James and Fu have a guest. And I don't think they do it as much. They do it specifically when they've got guests that do their own podcasts, when they cross pollinate. If someone comes to their podcast, they will change their segments to align with that person's podcast. And it makes it very easy for that person's audience to transition to theirs, because it's not such a sudden change in structure. So when they did, who did they do? They did one with 2 shots of tequila. It's 2 shots of tequila now. 3 shots of tequila. They did it with Marvin and Taser, I think. They did like a joint episode with them. And it's almost like they pivoted it in a way where they started... No, actually, sorry. I'm so sorry. I've got it wrong. I think Marvin and Taser did a pod with James and Fuhad, and they pivoted it in a way where they did stuff that the Shits and Gig podcast did on theirs. And it's really good, because what it did, as someone who's a fan of Shits and Gigs, it made it easy for me to enjoy their content, because I'm used to Shits and Gigs. I've come to you because I've typed Shits and Gigs into YouTube and I've landed on your pod. So I'm expected to see Shits and Gigs type content. If I jump on now and all I'm hearing is opera songs, I'm going to be very confused. Is my camera just blowed out completely? Who cares?
Yeah, it's a little bit.
If I jump on and all I see is opera songs, I'm going to be very confused, because I came for Shits and Gigs podcast. So they did a film of immersion, and I think that's very important, because what you're doing is then still presenting your brand, but within the right context. And I think that just I'll leave now, because we can go on to this topic for days and days. But on the topic of when you're marketing yourself in the right space, it's also important to consider the context of that space you're in. If I'm going to the BAFTAs and my brand is to be, you know, professional, and my brand is to, you know, be a person that's approachable and everything, I'm not turning up in a clown suit. Right?
Yeah, that's true.
If my brand is to be a unique thinker and all these things, I'm turning up in brand, but still I'm doing it at the BAFTAs. So the context is there, and I'm presenting that my brand within the context in a way that it would make sense. The thing is, if I'm going to the BAFTAs and I'm a nobody and I'm there to grow, I could turn up in the clown suit and people just think I'm playing a prank. And if I've got a mask on, no one will know who I am, right? But if I'm a nobody and I'm turning up in the best tuxedo possible and fitting in, because the context of that space is people are there to see the BAFTAs, not me. I'm just a nobody walking through, so I need to fit in and then eventually make myself stand out. However, if I'm a big time celebrity, I don't know, I'm Robert Downey Jr., I can turn up in my shower gown and people stare at me more than the BAFTAs, because the BAFTAs has got me there so people can come see it. So they will allow me to turn up in my shower gown if I have to, just to make a statement. Just because they'll be like, well, you're going to get me views. So it's all about, it's the power dynamic, recognizing where you sit within the context that you need to be in. And if you are below the importance of that, there's no shame in it. Embrace it, allow it to kind of, or mold yourself to that environment a bit, but still maintain an aspect of it that represents yourself. So if I turn up and I'm a bit of a joker and I want to still get crowd's attention, I'm not going to turn up in a clown suit. I'll wear a nice tuxedo, but I might have a little flower that squirts water and I can run little jokes with it. So I've got like a nice blend of, this is who I am. I'm a clown, but I'm also turning up to the BAFTAs, and more people know the BAFTAs than they know me. So I think that's where these are the considerations you have to have. So if you're trying to do the podcasting like us, and I'm saying this like I'm an expert and our podcast is fucking smashing it, but what I'm really doing is I'm kind of laying out like, this is our possible approach. Once we've hit episode 50, we always said, once we've hit the 50 mark, we're going to start doing some more like guest episodes. We're going to probably do more of going to other people's podcasts and all these things. So that's probably the roadmap we're going to follow. It's just taking our brand into other spaces and aligning with those spaces to grow our audience if we think that space is far more dominant than us. And in the early stages, it will be. But the power dynamic will pivot. And then when me and Lewis turn up in your podcast in our shower gown and our slippers, Joe Rogan, you better embrace us, because we're big dogs now.
And say you're welcome.
Yeah, say you're welcome. I will call you Mr. Joe Rogan throughout the whole podcast, but it's okay. It's okay. Embrace us, love us,
and sit down.
Yeah, and then get me a Cybertruck. Ask Elon, and then get me a room with Elon. But yeah, anyway,
right. We're gonna end there.
That's more. Let's end there. I hope that. I think I went on. I love this marketing topic a lot, and I think we went on quite a bit of a tangent. But I hope that there was enough key terms and key points there to inspire people to go and learn more, dive into how your brand or your business fits within the area you want. How should you be promoting it? Are you doing a service or a product? If so, look into advertising and other ways to market your service. Are you the brand and are you the product? Then prioritize marketing, prioritize positioning yourself in the right place so people recognize you for who you are and what you're selling. And if you've got those base values, Lewis, I don't think we're wrong in saying that your business should do better than not doing anything at all.
Yeah, that's fact. Yeah. Cool. That's a good one. And if you guys enjoyed, give us a follow. Give us on Spotify, on TikTok, Instagram, the Podcast Evolve. And see you guys next week. Bye.